Hello, hello. Just doing some listing. Thought I'd turn the camera on just to entertain myself. I'm doing teacups. This one's an Ainsley. I'm not sure how much I paid for this. Probably $8. Probably a little bit too much, but you know. And it has not huge money makers. I think I got an Ainsley, Shelley, and a Paragon. Now I'm using Windex to clean the Value Village markers off it. Probably not the best, but I don't know any better. That's not working very well at all. Also going to list some tapes. I find them at Value Village quite often, but I don't get the cheapest ones anymore because they're fairly heavy. So unless they're cheap, they're not worth it. So list those. I sold some this week, so I'm just redoing the listing. Let's see here. A lot of 5 sold for 30. It's okay. 30 Canadian. Oh, there. And sorry, I didn't see the message. Greens from London, Ontario. Hey. Thank you for watching. Hope we're not too boring. So, like I was saying, the tapes the Easy Find are pretty good. They're worth picking up. Like the cheapest ones I won't bother picking up because they only sell for a couple bucks. But if you ever see they ever say metallic on them, those are really good. Though you can sell for like 40, 50, 60 bucks. And like I was saying, for the teacups, I'll pick up the Ainsleys. I find if they're this kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but kind of these pastels, they're usually worth picking up. This one here is probably about 40, I think. Same with the Paragon, it's about 40. If you can get them with big roses, people seem to like roses for some reason. Yeah, tapes are great. I also pick up, mostly tapes. I got like Sony, TDK, all of Max. I just got boxes of it. And usually what I do is when I have enough, I'll just lock them all together. I'm trying to like make it so that when I do sell something, I'm selling it for $40 just because in Canada, even with chit chats, I find the shipping is a little much. So it's best to do that. Hey, Oksana. Hey, Harry. Yeah, teacups I don't know like a ton about, but like I said, a good rule is if they're these pastel colors. And I would only, if you're learning, I would learn Paragon because they're almost always worth picking up. Take a chance on a few. There's some Paragon I won't pick up anymore, but what you want to do is do the ping test, because if there's a crack, see, that sounds better. So I should really look at this one. to make sure there's no cracks. And also what I do is I'll take the my cell phone and I'll use the light, and I can show. Yeah, Royal Albert, I have to learn yet still. I find it's best like when I'm learning a new category just to take it simple. So let's see if you can see that. So see, if there's a crack there, there's a much better chance of actually showing up. You should also check the handles to make sure they're not glued. This one here is actually making me a little nervous because it didn't sound great. But I don't see any issues. So, but I have found very valuable ones. Yeah, I have to. Yeah, it's like they see the model number or the maker number, and they can't help themselves but to do that, to put the sticker right on top. It's very annoying. My army collection is getting pretty big, Harry. I picked up these guys the other day. He doesn't look very American to me, though. So maybe someone put their flag on there. I really like my Roman, too. I think I'm collecting these just for the hell of it, because I can actually see once in a while I'll find these guys. I also picked up this week. It's new in box. Believe it or not, this thing sells for $250 to $300 American, and there's like $6. So that was lucky. Calculators can, if you find vintage calculators, they can actually be worth hundreds of dollars, and I have found them and sold them, especially HP. I think calculators are definitely worth learning. Yep, Brins. I think I've already mentioned this one to you, but these ones called damn, I'm getting old. Swappers. If you ever see those, they're plastic, but they're actually worth quite a bit of money. I guess the idea was you could take all the different heads and arms and stuff like that and mix them around, and people definitely will collect these. What else did I pick up? Can anyone guess what this is? It's a screw. And you can unscrew it. And then the pop goes like that. And then there's a seal here. Spoiler alert, it's not worth much. But once in a while, I'll take like a chance on something. Just for the hell of it. It's not silver. What else did I get this week? So another one I like to pick up. Nope. It's a traveling ink well. So they used to, so it would lock and the seals to keep the ink in. This one's only worth like $20 or $30, but if it was silver, it could be worth hundreds. And I find these, well, I found this one on the baggy wall, and I've been trying to be better at going to the baggy wall where I normally don't check, because I think there's lots of opportunity there. Oh yeah, last moral, the learning never ends, and that's actually what I really enjoy. Otherwise, I would get really bored. So like, the other thing I'll pick up from the toy wall is My Little Pony, especially if it says, I don't know if you can see that. Why not? Ooh, Hong Kong. And this one is 1984. So if I can get them for $1 each, generally I'll pick them up because they can be worth $30. And you know, I've been finding with toys, especially if the hair is good, they're an easy sell. Oh yeah. My biggest issue is trying to figure out which one it is, but I know I do have a website just for researching My Little Pony. And I thought this one here was like just a new thing, but it's a baby one. I love the toy wall. Okay, I think people might know this one. This is I can't pronounce it. Maybe this is a bigger one. Schlinger. Scheich. Now, you only want to get these if they're in great condition and they're cheap. But some of them can be worth like 20 or 30 bucks. No, I haven't figured that out. I just, for most of the stuff last Mortal, I just sell as is, and I usually don't even clean the stuff. And I leave it up to the people who actually collect the stuff to deal with that. Like I'll do basic cleaning, like I was using the Windex to at least take off the markings here. I probably should be using soap and water, to be honest. But, and what else did I pick up? Oh, this one's kind of fun. This is Tupperware. And the vintage Tupperware can have some value too. I forget how much. I think this is what I'm going to show is worth about 30 bucks American, plus shipping. Everything's plus shipping. So, salt and pepper. Not a huge money maker, but nice and easy. Hey, Julie. So, and it was just something fun, something a little different than my normal stuff. But I don't want to get into a habit of just doing the same stuff all the time. I also look out for Franklin dictionaries and stuff like that. You're taking a chance though if it's going to work or not. And I do check to see if it has value before I pick it up. This one's a little silly. It's silver plate, and normally I never pick up silver plate, but this is one of those times I can stop myself because you can't really see. But the monogram there is actually CC, my initials, so I can leave behind. Yeah, I thought it might be silver because it just has that weight, and there's some marks on the bottom, but I think it's thick silver plate, and sometimes actually with this company, this is 1930s, I think, actually will have some value. And of course, the other thing I often pick up is these voice recorders. That's cool, Julie. Just having fun. So the voice recorders, for everything that I pick up is mostly from the thrift stores, and I always use my cell phone to figure out how much something is worth, because what I hate is buying stuff and then filling my basement with it. So I'm a bit of a cherry picker. So if you ever see these voice recorders, they can be worth some money too. I'm just going to check the value of this one. Sony PCM. So this one here, and this is US, sold for about 40 bucks with free shipping. 40 bucks, 40 bucks, 35 bucks. Oh, someone's got 75 bucks with free shipping, American, for this. That's quite a bit. Yeah. I find these all the time, and they're worth money. I don't know what the hell people are doing with them. But voice recorders are good if it works, because I find 30% of the time it doesn't work. The voice recorders are usually better than the Walkmans, but Yeah. So just last moral fiber about shipping. You said you're in London, Ontario, so I'm not sure if they have chit chats there. So what there is there's companies that will take your items and they'll drive across the border to the United States and ship from there, and it's a lot cheaper. So if something's under about 450 grams, I can ship tracked to United States for about $6. It makes a huge difference. Yeah, see you later, Harry. I saw no one was on, and I thought maybe I'll get myself to this stuff. Yeah, I'll also sometimes I'll pair it. Like if I think of it, I will pair it with a blank tape, especially since like some of the tapes like I would normally not pick up. But I'll pick them up when they're free in the bag. So like the Maxwell UR 90s, these are only worth like $1. So generally, if the bag just has this, I'll leave them behind now because I got enough of them. No, sorry, you don't have chit chats. But you know what? I think for me, I didn't have chit chats for a long time. And I think for eBay Canada, it's really good to concentrate on the higher value stuff. And when you're watching things to buy from other eBayers, make sure you take that into account, especially if you're watching Americans, because they can buy and sell things for a lot lower because their shipping costs are so different. So now I've actually lowered the shipping cost for a lot of my stuff. So, but let's see what else do I got. There's one. I'm cheap. I keep all the bags. So I take the, because what I do is I keep the item, like I'll list the item, keep it in the bag, and then I'll put it in a bin in the bag, just to keep it a little safer. And most of my stuff will go into bins. So speaking of fishing lures, here's a Humminbird fish finder. Now I took a chance on this one. Ooh, I paid $7. And what I'll do is I can't test it, but I'll sell it as is for parts. And I always say if it doesn't work, return it. And honestly, no one's ever returned anything. Maybe I'm being lucky. Maybe if it's valuable enough, I'll pick it up anyways. Should probably make sure this. Let's see how much this one was worth. Humminbird. Mm-hmm. Pre-owned, someone got $55 tested. $55 tested. Never do auctions, by the way. Brand new is 130 American. 50. So I might get 35 for this. And I'll just take the chance. Hey, Ken. Just showing all the garbage I picked up. For the Xana, for the vintage fishing lures, I can't. You know, I picked up fishing lures in the past, and they were never worth anything. And I'm not quite sure how to tell the old ones from the new ones. Try and get Scotty to talk about that. Maybe he knows something about that. Got a BB-8. It's not worth a ton of money, but $30 or so. And I'm finding it with toys too. Toys are it's just easy. Like this one will have to be tested, but so many of them don't need to be tested at all. It just speeds up the whole process so much. I also, I'm always, just like Chris from Chris's Treasure Chest, I pick up a lot of camcorders. And I got a guilty pile that I need to deal with. But I'll test them all at the same time. But they give me worth hundreds of dollars, and I have sold them for hundreds of dollars. So if you ever see Heroescape stuff, it looks like this, and we have the little figures, kind of look like this. They take a bit of work, but often they can be worth quite a bit too, especially if you get them cheap. And usually I don't pick up CD players, but this one's pink, so found a couple duplicates. But actually, I had an issue with this one. Not sure, like the display was bad, and I have two of them. The display was bad on both, and I think it might be weak batteries, but I use new batteries in them, so I'm not sure what's up with that. What else did I get? So I make this mistake a lot. I don't know if anyone else is into silver, but bloody teaspoons. And when I try to figure out, is these ones I have here all say sterling, but I don't believe that they are. So I'm not sure if how that works. I use padded envelopes for anything unless I think I could get damaged. So for the little guys like this, I probably use a box, and I use a 6x4x4 box, and that's the cheapest shipping, and it's a fairly light. So I use actually a lot of 6x4x4s, but I prefer using the padded envelopes. So I have here. Actually, I have all. So I use this size, and then the medium, large. But for most of it, I'm using these guys, and they're about the same weight, so it doesn't really matter. And then for the box, this is a 6x4x4, and I use a ton of these, and it's fairly light. And usually, actually, what I just got was one of those zebra printers, and it's pretty good. It speeds things up. Like it was just an opportunity to buy one. It wasn't cheap. It was $200, but so I get for the padded envelopes. I got those probably because I have a store and I get that coupon, and I wanted to use the coupon. Here in Ottawa, I just order almost everything in Staples, and I just write it off as a business expense. And what I really like is having tons of supplies. What I hate is when I'm going to ship. Like I have some things to ship tomorrow morning, and what I hate is running around looking for boxes. So I always know I have 6x4s, and I have a certain size. That I have a list of things here, anyways, for the size, so I can figure out which one it's going to use. And what I've been finding useful is I've been using these things, and I got these from Staples. It's just cardboard, and you can peel it off and then fold it over. And I've been using these sometimes for books, but often for Dungeons and Dragons modules, and it protects it really well. And it's just handy to have a ton of these, so I never have to worry about it. And for Chit Chats, the only thing I bought off Chit Chats was that printer. I'm actually low on bubble wrap, so I might try buying some of their bubble wrap. Like I said, I don't mind paying for supplies. Oh, good. I'm glad it helped last Moral Fiber. I kind of feel bad because I did that video and I stopped using Canada Post. But I think the thing that confused me a lot with Canada Post was the volumetric equivalent, and how there's different sizes. And I never really understood for a long time how that chart works. Chit Chat is just so much easier. Especially if you're shipping to the United States, not to tease you, but if you're shipping to the United States and it's 450 grams or less, you don't even have to take the size of the package. It doesn't make a difference to the cost. So it speeds, like padded envelopes speed things up so much. Hey Carter, they're pretty good. I'm not sure what I'm going to use them for. Like I don't send a ton of books, but like for the Dungeons and Dragons modules, they were perfect. And for books, I just use padded envelopes. Like for me, it's about the cost of the item. If it's going to be like under $50 and I think it's going to get there safe, I just do the padded envelopes and it's not being a problem. I used to worry about the damage they would get in there, but I think I was overanalyzing that. If it's something like I'm really worried about, then I will spend extra time, like it's something valuable or something that could break, like the teacups. I'll actually overpackage the teacups, but I haven't had a teacup break yet. Hey, Chris, how's the vacation going? I saw that $1,000 thing you found. That's awesome. Pay for your whole trip. Yeah, I haven't tried getting the USPS boxes from Chit Chats yet. I should ask about that. His name is Philip. The guy who runs it here in Ottawa is actually really friendly. So that's been good. It's great when you can have someone you can ask questions and they don't know the answer. They'll go and research it for you. But like I said, like it was a real game changer being able to send tracked for $6 United States. Up to 450 grams. Because you're paying the fees on the shipping, it actually can make a big difference. Yeah, last Marvel magazines would be good. I don't sell a ton of magazines. I want to get into that a bit more. I know that Mad magazines can have some value, but I don't. That's kind of guilty thing is I don't really look into that, but I will look into that. I've been selling some of my comics, and that was a little confusing. So this is what I use for the comic books. I also got this from Staples. What it is it's variable height. And so when you have the comic, what I do is the comic book will have its own cardboard backing. I put a fresh bag on the comic. And then I actually tape the comic, which is obviously in the bag, with just painter's tape, just to keep it from moving around. And then what you can do is you fold this like this on top of the comic. And you're not going to damage the comic this way, and it's really secure. So I'm going to have to sell more comics. Looking forward to the videos. Last time you went to Northern Ontario, I think you got a pretty awesome, Chris, you got a pretty awesome microphone, if I remember. One of the ones you used for ham radios. That was pretty neat. What else did I get? So I've been trying to learn my toys. Some of the Chinese toys are actually worth a bit of money. Not like a ton. Like if you can get stuff cheap and you can lot it up, like this one here, it's quite a bit of detail in this stuff. Like I don't know what you guys find, but I find Value Village can be kind of random with their pricing, so you never know how much they're going to get. Or sometimes you'll get a huge bag, like the figures with these tiny army figures, Britons. I got a ton of them for like $5.99. Sometimes they'll last like $6 for 3. I think it depends on who's in the back. I tried negotiating at Salvation Army today. They had like a bunch of printer ink, and I sell a lot of printer ink because it's easy. And they wanted $7.99 each, and it sells for about that. And so I said, well, and they had a ton of it. It's never going to sell. Like no one's going to buy that particular ink for $8 at Salvation Army. And I'm not very good at negotiation, so I said, well, will you give me a lot deal? And they said, how much? And I said, I want to leave a bit of room for negotiation, which was probably my mistake. And I said $1.49, and they said, forget it. But honestly, I wouldn't pay much more than that, because after you pay for the shipping and all that stuff, you're not going to get a ton of money on it. Yeah, Oksana. Yeah, like they put a whole bunch of. That's probably some of the best deals I've gone, was the bags where they just put all the stuff in there, like that. Scotty was showing that monster in your pocket, little rubber toys, and like I got a huge bag of those. I must have made $400-500 off that one bag, and of course I've never seen them since. Yeah, reselling in Canada is a little different. Like I'm the weird guy who talks to you at the Valley Village, and so I've made a lot of friends with other thrifters. I am one of the very few who actually sell on eBay. Most of them are selling on Facebook Marketplace because it's saves on the shipping, or flea market. Antique malls, or Kijiji. But I just don't want to deal with any of that. Yeah, so Valley Village can have different stores, can have different prices. Like there's one in Ottawa I just don't like going to. I never find anything there, and they ask insane prices. I think it was like $14.99 for one of the My Little Ponies. It's like no one's going to buy that, so they're just sitting there for weeks. And so that one I try to go to as little as possible. Actually, one thing that I've been trying to figure out is when is Value Village restocking their shelves? So has anyone noticed a pattern? Because it used to be here in Ottawa, they open at 11 a.m. And I'll usually try to take time and go to the 11 a.m. and then zip around and see what I can get, because everything's fresh. But what I have noticed is I have seen them restocking the shelves during the day now at a few of these stores. So I've noticed that the lineup I go to at 11 a.m., a lot of the regulars have been disappearing. So I'm wondering if they figured out that they're restocking at a different time and not coming in for the 11 a.m. Yeah, Goodwill bins. Yeah, I would try it, but we don't have anything like that here. I try to, like I said, I'm a cherry picker, so I'm getting to the point in my basement where I'm getting a little lower on storage space. So I want to make sure I don't get too much low value stuff that I'm never going to list. And I being like getting a ton of coupons. Oh, really? Oksana, they would rotate the stock? Huh. I've never noticed that here. You wouldn't think that'd be worth it, but maybe they do. Like it must be in the stuff I don't look at. Like I just do, like my pattern, it depends on the store, but my pattern when I go to the store is the first thing I do is look for camcorders. Then I go to the electronics wall because I'm looking for stuff like, if you ever see these guys here, these are little dongles. These sell for 40 or 50. And to test them, I just make sure the red light comes on and put the USB into the computer. And they go in a padded envelope. So anyways, I look for the camcorders, and I've been picking up a lot of cameras because I'm getting better at that. And they can be, if you get a good lens on a camera, that can be $100 or more. Then I hit the electronics wall. And then I usually go to the toy section, look along the baggy section, look at board games because I have a weakness for board games. Then I go and look for to see if there's any teacups. I check for calculators on the stationary wall. And now I've actually added the area where they, on the baggy wall where they have all the little tchotchkes. I look there because sometimes there is good stuff in there, but it takes a bit more knowledge. I used to find a lot of Starbucks mugs. So I used to look at mugs. I still look at mugs, but I don't see them anymore. But teacups I look for. Any ink that's sealed can be good, but you have to check the expiry dates on that. Toner. I look to see if there's any Rock Band guitars sitting around. So, camcorders and kitchen stuff like blenders, do they sell okay in Canada only? So if you're doing eBay, it's actually a lot cheaper sending to United States. And their market is about 9 times the size of ours. So no problem with questions. So for me, I would definitely add United States to where you're going to ship to. I just shipped to Canada and the United States because of the pandemic and because Chit Chats was here and then closed down and opened up again. I didn't want to deal with anywhere else, and that market is pretty big. Camcorders, like I said, I'll ship to Canada and the United States. And blenders, I've done Vitamix and gotten good money. The problem is they're heavy and big. But if they're worth good money, I'll definitely pick them up. I have some espresso machines in my death pile. If you see coffee grinders, not the small ones, but the big ones by Starbucks, they can be worth picking up as well. I don't see them very often, though. So I do that aisle as well for the kitchen appliances. I go and check to see if there's any. If you look in the makeup area, I look for things like shaving blades that are in the package. I don't see them very often, though. I look for Cutco knife blocks. I've been looking for manga books. If you ever watch Two Dogs Digs, they're in Toronto. They have they put up a video a little while ago about how to look for books or something. Because I had my Chit-Chat account for a long time, because they were here in Ottawa, then they closed down. I actually can send things media mail, and I can save a lot of money too. But sometimes manga books can be worth a lot of money. If I see something weird, like this is the old brick style phones I used to have in the cars. And obviously I can't test this thing, so I'm going to sell it as is. Naruto. Yeah, I've seen those. I'm not sure what the ones that I've been selling are called. I think. Let's see if I can see any of my sales. But I can't, even if I told you the name of the book, it wouldn't really help very much because there's so many different names. I've been trying to make sure I don't get stuck in certain niches because you get GTO. Onizuka. So I've gotten pretty good money for that. Books are just easy. Two Dogs Digs. It's a couple guys and they're in Toronto. I really like their channel, and I do get a lot of ideas from them. Hey, Angela. So this thing here, it might be worth a couple of $100. But when I'm at the last moral fiber, when I'm at the stores and I see something unusual, and the more you go, the more you'll see unusual things. I will definitely check it out. I took the chance on this. I think I paid $6. I take educated gambles once in a while. And when I checked on eBay, a couple of them did sell for good money, so it was worth taking the time. Card Discmans, I'll pick those up. The issue is with some of this stuff is you're taking a chance because I don't test anything at the stores. If it doesn't work, I literally throw it out, or if it's worth parts, maybe. But I think the gamble is worth it. But I'm not going to get something that only sells for $20 or $30 and take the gamble because too often it won't work. Yeah, that's awesome, Angela. It's a lot of fun, and the learning never ends. And once in a while, you'll get a home run. And like my home run for this month was a signed wooden decoy duck, and I got that for $15, and I sold that for $350 American plus shipping. And I might be able to get a bit more, but that was really good. My average sale price is I think $40 or $50 plus shipping on top of that, and my margin's around 50 or 60%. Old photo studio flash things. Oh yeah. Okay. I've picked up lots of old vintage camera equipment. And I've, on Chris's Treasure Trust, he's actually found the exact same stuff. And, most of the stuff you don't make a ton of money off of, but, sometimes you can get, like, if it's an auction, no one wants that old photo equipment. And so you can get a big lot, sometimes really, really cheap. And there'll be a few winners in there. And the rest of the stuff I just turned into Value Village coupons. Pro Kitchen Cooker. Nova. See, that one I don't know. I'll have to look that up later. But like I said, the more you go, the more you kind of get a feel for things. What I will often do is, if I'm sick of seeing the same item at the Value Village over and over, I'll actually take a photo of it with my camera on my phone, and I'll research that category when I get home or later. And then I'll make a list of just two or three of the brand names for the most valuable stuff. So I'll bring that list in my wallet. And if I see that item, I'll just try to find those brands and look them up. Otherwise, I find I get overwhelmed trying to learn a whole category. Like I said, with the teacups, Ainsley, but Paragon is the easiest one. And what I did when I was learning the teacups, I just turn them all over. Like, I just go whoop and check it and put it back. And for Paragon, it's very obvious the marks on the bottom. This is a newer mark. The other Paragons look a little different. And Paragon is a good thing to take a chance on. And I'm willing to spend some money to learn a category because they can be worth hundreds of dollars. But just watch out for chips and cracks. Yeah, Angela, I used to go to Salvation Army a lot. And because of the same, now at the time, a couple of years ago, I found Salvation Army was a lot cheaper. I don't find that's true anymore here. I find they're a lot more expensive than Valley Villages for some reason. But the biggest issue I found with Salvation Army is their inventory turnover rate was really low. For whatever reason, so many people are donating at Valley Village, probably because it's easy. And so even if you find the price is a little bit more expensive at Value Village, because of that inventory turnover, I actually find a lot more stuff at Value Village. And for Salvation Army, I often don't go anymore. Okay, no problem. Last. Another, for watching YouTube is a good way to get bolos, but also I'll look for eBay stores of people who are obviously doing reselling. And if I think their stuff is good, I'll save that seller. And once in a while, I'll go look at all the stuff they sold and steal all their good ideas. So Angela, do you watch Scotty's channel? Antiques and Profits, because he is south of Milton, I think. And so he's not near major cities too, but he finds a lot more stuff than I do because he's really good at, finding that stuff out in the small towns, and he's doing really well. So you kind of look for what's in your area. I do a lot of electronics. Yeah, Julie, it's great, isn't it? It's like, what I love is when I look at someone's store and it's like, they got that much for that, and then you find out a whole new category. Or the other thing I do is sometimes with online auctions like Next Bid, Next Sold. I always forget the name of it. When the auction's over, I'll order it from highest to lowest, and anything I go, what the for, then I'll learn that new category. Yeah, Scotty really likes the small towns, and he buys a lot of things in bulk and at cheap prices, and that way he can. And he knows antiques, and I like antiques as well. But really, the categories I'm learning is the stuff I'm finding at the thrift stores, because that's where I do a lot of my sourcing from, and a bit of auctions. I think that's some Thomas the Train. I probably should stop. There are some valuable ones out there, but I find with the Thomas, I find a lot I like the wooden ones for some reason, and I find you get a lot of damage. So the more I've been doing this, some things I'm less fussy about damage, and some things I just want them if they're perfect anymore. If they're perfect, I mean. The talking ones can have a bit of value too, but I picked this just baggy up, which I probably should have left because I make lots of mistakes. Yeah, Julie, I don't like for the in-person ones. I'm not patient. I can't sit there. It's like what I hate is when it's like I want this, and you spend the whole time. I'd rather just bid online. Like I think you get better prices, but for me, when I started thinking about buying from live auctions, that's really when the pandemic hit, and so I never really had a chance to find out where they actually are. But I have been thinking about expanding the distance I go to find stuff, especially if I can find a lot. Yeah, just like I said, for me, like one thing you should learn at the Value Village that I think is really important when you begin is what is the color tag of the week, right? Because they change. So here's a gray one, here's a yellow one. So these are different weeks. And when you're first starting, I would find out what is the color for that week and just look up items of that color. Because if, like, say yellow was this week and gray was last week, if you see items on the wall that are gray, that means another thrifter hasn't picked up that item. So there's less chance that that is going to be a good item as opposed to the new stuff. Especially when you start, because you can get frustrating if you're looking up stuff and very overwhelming. So that's what I would recommend. And now I still kind of do that. Like I'll look for that, find out that color and look for that. It'll speed up your searching a lot. Yeah. Like last moral, like mistakes are part of it. As long as you're doing an educated one. And trying, it's hard to do, but try not to buy something just because you haven't found something in a while, because they can get very tempting. Because what we don't want to do is buy stuff and then sell it and make no money and fool ourselves into thinking that we're making money. But I still do it once in a while. It's hard to resist. Thanks, Jennifer. Did you have any other questions last, or anyone else? Or to get my opinion on anything? Another good one I find, especially when you're new, is remote controls, because some of them can be worth $30 or $40, and you can just use your camera to see the IR light on the remote. And if I see the IR light, it works, and 99% of remote controls work. And it's easy to look up the model number and learn which brands you should bother looking up. I always forget the name of them. Like, I don't look up RCA, for example, because I'll never find a valuable remote. Yeah, so for Angela's question, how do you set your prices? I'm greedy, and I want the top price. And what's funny is when I go to comp something and I see something with the top price and it's my stuff, it makes me a little happy. So what I do is when I first started, what I used to do is, like, I would look up the value of something. Say I would look up this and see someone got 20 and someone got 60, for example. I used to think, well, I could get 20, so maybe I should pick it up. But now I do the opposite. Now it's like, if that person got 60 for this, I can get 60 for this because I take good pictures and I'm very honest. And so I will price at 90 or 95% of the top price. But I do take into account shipping, because when you're looking at sold comps on eBay and it shows the shipping, that almost really burnt me at the beginning, because the shipping it shows for sold items is the shipping to you. It doesn't show the shipping that the person actually paid. So if you're looking at an American shipping to Canada and you think, oh, they got $25 for shipping for this item, but in reality, the American probably sold this to another American. And if you change the shipping address from a postal code to a zip code, and it shows $5 instead for the shipping, it'll give you a better idea of what people are actually paying for shipping. So I take that into account in my prices. Have I shipped something really heavy? I try to avoid heavy things if I can, because or large light things, because I have been burnt by that. Like, I remember Super Soaker, and it cost me 40 or maybe even $50 to ship that thing to California, and I made money off of it, but I prefer small, valuable things. And so when I'm researching items, I try to spend time learning the small things and the light things, or just small and valuable. And I think that's a better time, especially for Canadians. I think that's where we should be spending our time, in my opinion. People are showing high shipping and low prices as well. Yeah, like I said, for the shipping, you have to be really, really careful with that, especially as a Canadian, because it'll give you the wrong idea of how much people are actually getting. Because people are only going to, for me, it's how much are they going to pay in total. So, it's either $80 plus 20 shipping or $70 plus $30 in shipping. Like, you have to keep all that in mind. Yeah, Canada Post is pricey. So, actually, if you've watched my video, but I think, so eBay has a deal. I don't know if it's ended or not, because I don't use eBay's shipping labels, but they were giving Canada Post Tier 3 discounts if you buy an eBay label, and that helps a lot. But you should definitely sign up for the Canada Post business account. I think you've seen that if you see my video. Please do that, because it'll save you, I think, 30% or 20% off the bat at end of August. Yeah. So, like, with that Tier 3 is great, because that, I think I got as high as Tier 3 through Canada Post, and each tier is based, of course, on how much money you're spending in a year. But Chit-Chats is just so much cheaper. It's not even an argument anymore. I have Oksana, I have some big typewriters I have to list, but I'm avoiding it. So that's the other thing I'll do now is like I'll see something worth $100, and if it's big and heavy, even if it's like $10, I'll leave it because I just don't want to deal with it, and I have to live up to my name. No, you don't. You definitely don't need a business license for the Canada Post small business discount. You definitely don't. You don't need a business. I'm sure of it. So maybe there might be. Make sure they're not looking at like a. There might be two, like one for the consumer business and one for much bigger businesses. Maybe you looked at the bigger business. Yeah, Julie, it's so much nicer to ship small things. It's like, what did I ship this week? Well, that duck was big, but that was worth it. Some milk mugs. That was exciting. They sold for $50 for a couple of Quebec Winter Carnival mugs. Bunch of tapes. Some toys. Cameras. Old stock. All small things. So if there's no more questions, I'll probably end it now because I haven't listened to anything. I thought I'd just try it again. No one else was live. And last moral, if you have any questions, you can always put them on my ask the question on one of my YouTube videos, and I'll try and answer you there if I know the answer. And no problem. I hope you really enjoyed it, Angela. It's lots of fun. The biggest fear for me at the start was doing the Canada. It was shipping, but I'm pretty well over that for most stuff. Okay, no problem. Have a good night, everyone.